What's the temperature? King the people. Jesus. Oh, it's 98 degrees. Whoa. Jeepers creepers. It says get up to 101 degrees. Hey, Miss Shelly. You said you just left me a message. Okay. Look, you see where I'm at. I just left Dunkin'. I got me what I always get most times anyway. A medium iced decaf Americano with caramel flavor, 2 spinners and half cream. I also got today a guacamole toast. I mean, not guacamole, avocado toast with bacon. Okay. I had that sandwich, one of the churros. Am I saying it right? Churros. I think that was last week. It was pretty good. I had a churro and avocado toast. I know that was like, and then I had to come back because as soon as I got home, I was like, oh, I forgot my daughter's sandwich. And the lady looked at me and I said, oh, I had forgot my daughter's sandwich. And I was like, I was focused on me. I guess she was looking at me. You ordered all that for you. The first time around, I was hungry. Anyway, I hadn't eaten. I knew I needed to eat something. I knew I was going to go to Dunkin'. So I just waited. I'm like, I got the taste for the avocado toast today. So yeah. You said no decaf. You know I be drinking decaf. Every here and there I do have regular coffee. That's usually when I go to Quick Trip because the Akuba is $1 off on Mondays at the Akuba machine. A special coffee, supposed to be special. And on Thursdays, the fresh blend, they iced coffee in there is $1 off. Everything in there is $1 off, but I only really get the iced coffee. Every here and there I get something else. But you know, a lot of those things in there are sugary. So I be avoiding the sugar. Every here and there I give me a sugary treat now. Matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, I think that was last week too, when I got all them sandwiches. I think, not all them sandwiches, but a couple of sandwiches and that avocado. Am I saying it right? Yeah, avocado toast. I had got the toffee nut. What is it? A toffee nut? Is it a frappe? What they call them there? Whatever it is, the frozen drink, like a shake. Like, it was really good too. So yeah, but when I go to Quick Trip on Monday and Thursday, theirs is caffeine. The ones that I get, the ones in those machines. So those the only days. Those are the only days I really drink caffeine. But I try to stay away from it, you know, because of my, you know, I have to regulate my blood pressure properly, you know. That's kind of why. So yeah, hey Kingdom people, what's going on, y'all? How are you all? Thank you all so much for joining. Oh, excuse me. Did y'all hear that? So I am coming to you today with a message that has been really speaking to me over these last couple of days, yesterday and today. Really strongly this morning. And, you know, they want you to change back. I know that sounds crazy. Like, what that mean? They want you to change. They want you to change. They want you to change back. In other words, they want you to change back to what you used to be. Because you changed. You changed forward. You elevated, you grew, you evolved. They want you to go back. They want you to change. They want you to change back to who you used to be. And so many of you are, it's a thing where God, you walk with God. It's a walk. It's a process. And he changes you over time. He builds things up in you. He teaches you. He, at different points in your life, he calls you higher, and then calls you higher some more later on down the line or whatever, however he does it. And so while all this is going on, the change is always taking place in you, but it's a personal journey and walk that's between you and God. So you're just allowing him to do in you what he's doing in you, and you just walk it out. And so what happens is, when you sometimes make certain shifts where the change becomes obvious, the change becomes more tangible. Maybe you do some things different. Maybe you let go of some things. Maybe you sever some relationships because you have to. And it's because your change has come. The change is here. And usually that's indicative of the fact that God is calling you out into further purpose. So he's causing you to step out into doing some things that he had been equipping you for all along. But again, you were learning, growing, doing whatever. And so when that change happens to some people, it just, to them, feel like, oh, you just changed. You all of a sudden changed, which of course you're supposed to. Change is a part of life. Growth is a part of life. But everybody don't do that. Not just that. Everybody do it at different points in their life, if at all. And so you made some changes. You shifted what you were supposed to do because God shifted you. Again, I keep hearing your time has come. Your change has come. And people don't like your change because, it's not the same. The way things were with you when you before this change, which again, you were all along changing. You were all along, the work was being done in you. It just wasn't visible yet, but you knew what was happening in you. Like, again, it's private. It's between you and God. And maybe certain people did see the growth in you, but when that change happened in such a significant way, again, where you probably had to remove yourself from situations, circumstances, people, all that. I'm even hearing change jobs. Some people had to change jobs, careers. I was kind of thinking about something like that this morning, how like certain, I guess I could say career path, if that's what we want to call it, that I'm like going in a whole totally different direction than, well, not completely totally, but what God is showing me is something that I hadn't even known of. What he's showing me he's doing with me and the things he's leading me to do. Some things, had been there. But I'm saying all that to say those are all changes that are taking place. And some people don't like this change. And it's a good change. It's a good change for you because you're doing what God is telling you to do. You're moving into your purpose. You've been on the path and walking this walk with him. And, you're getting the results of your labor, so to speak. You're getting the results of being obedient, of following him, which that's what you're supposed to do. That's the whole point of the walk, of the journey. But again, your change has come. And some people don't like this change. Not that they're supposed to. Not that that's your problem. Because it's not. It's not. It's your life. It's your walk with God. It's really what you are here to do. But again, everybody don't do that. Everybody don't make certain changes. Everybody don't walk this thing out with God like that. And so usually people that have a problem with your change are people that are not doing that. Y'all know what I always say. It don't matter if they go to church. It don't matter if they the pastor of the church. It don't matter. Listen, if somebody got a problem with your change, where you are doing what God has required of you, that's always an indication. I'm finna go into some of the message that I'm gonna say it like this, that they ain't really walking with God. Because anybody who's really walking with God, who knows God, and God knows them, they'll be okay with your change because they're doing the same thing. Anybody that has a problem with it is because they not doing that. And again, people that ain't doing that don't want you to. They can't stand to see somebody else in their mind getting ahead of them. But the truth is they not going nowhere. They're going right where they at. And if you pay attention to them, they been where they at for a long time. And that's just where they gonna be. Not that they can't do something different, but that's a whole nother thing. But you know what I'm saying. You see it, you know it. But that's why your change is so drastic to them. Because they may have thought that nothing was happening. But then something happened. And now people have a problem with you. And so this is what God was like really showing me. How they want you to change back. People may be doing all kind of things. I've been aware of, I'll say it like that, of all kind of debauchery and buffoonery going on. And one of the things is this: people want you to feel left out. They want you to feel like you're missing out on something. And God had just been speaking to me about about certain situations, where that's what was going on. But what is going on, what I see with the group or individuals, because it could be different kind of things, but for me, with the people that were doing this, when God pointed out to me that they want me to feel left out, like I'm not a part of, first of all, I took myself out because I did want to be a part of. Now, you know how people may be tied to certain other people that you really don't have no issue with. It's not them that you stand away from, but because the people that you have to stay away from are around these people and they're a part of whatever's going on. So it's kind of like you just got to stay away from it all. That's kind of how it can be, or it has been for me. But I've made peace with all that, But that's part of what God was showing me. They don't know that. So people don't know that you've made peace with certain things. They don't know what you're thinking, where you're at. All they know is that you change. And what God also told me, people don't understand growth when they don't have that growth. So they do all these tricks, play all these tricks and trying to get this response or because they don't know growth. Because if you knew growth, number one, you wouldn't be doing those things. Secondly, you would know that a person who's experiencing growth, that's beneath them. That's not nothing to them. But again, when people are not growing and evolving and maturing, especially spiritually, mentally, even emotionally, and I ain't talking about book smart, nothing is wrong with book smart, but I'm saying that's not what I'm speaking of, because a lot of these people do be book smart, or they know some things, they know stuff, but really they're not growing mentally. They learn things and memorize things, but when I say mentally, they're not growing, handling themselves in a mature way mentally. Because the fact that you act out certain things means that you're thinking that way first, which means that if you're doing immature things, you're immature mentally first. Okay? So, the thing is, going back to what I was saying, when God was showing me this, like I said, at first I removed myself. So, how can I miss out on something that I removed myself from? But the thing was this. I asked God, I said, missing out on bondage? Because that's what it is to me. That's bondage. And again, the fact that people hear it on in a way to say, oh, you're missing out, is bondage. And I kept hearing this morning, God added to that bondage. He said, the yoke of bondage. That's the yoke of bondage. And I'm hearing right now, be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. See, that scripture, by the way, I don't have it with me right now where it's at. But that's all an attempt to entangle you back with the yoke of bondage, because you change. They want you to change back and be entangled with the yoke of bondage, and want you to feel like you're missing out on something because you ain't being entangled in the yoke of bondage. So, that was that. God told me this today. He said this, because when he was speaking to me about some things today, this morning, he said to me, because what he was giving me a picture of is like people partying and having fun, and not nothing in particular, but just where this can be the case. And it could be anything. You can have a group of friends that you changing your life, you doing things different, and so they out partying and clubbing. I'm just using that as an example, and they like want to try to make you feel like you missing out, but you missing out on the yoke of bondage. But that's what God said to me this morning. He said they not gonna be partying and doing all that in hell, because hell ain't no fun. That's what God said to me. And so that means that if you in the yoke of bondage and then you doing all this, like, oh yeah, you missing out. Because man, you change. And they want you to change back. They want you back in the yoke of bondage with them, partying with them. But God said, hell ain't no fun. Ain't no partying in hell. That's what he said to me. So basically what he was doing was correlating all that buffoonery, because that's what it is, all that crazy behavior and attempt to change you back, get you to change back, to attempt you to be entangled in a yoke of bondage. He said, hell ain't no fun. Listen, I'm not one to be, I ain't never been no person big on, oh, hell, they going to hell. I ain't never been that, because I always felt like it ain't my place to say. That's between people and God, and I don't know what people got going on with God. But I'll say over the last couple of years, God has been making me very aware that hell is very real. It's a very real thing, and it does exist. And one thing he would like bring back to me that I always took to, when I say took to, I knew that this depiction was real. The movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg, and how at the end of that movie, them demons took that dude over when that window glass fell in him and killed him, basically. The dude that did the dirt, that, the guy, if y'all know the scene, the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But God will always bring that back to me as a way to show me that, hell, yeah, them things coming for you. So, hey, Lady Queen of Summer, Candace. I've missed you. I haven't seen you in a while. Not that I've been here. Well, I haven't done a live in I think a couple of weeks, but exactly. Thank you. Stand, I was thinking that too. I wasn't getting that part out. Stand ye therefore. And it says, some verses say, in the liberty, listen to this, in the liberty wherewith Christ has made you free, and be not entangled again in the yoke of bondage. And here's the thing, stand ye therefore in the liberty wherewith Christ has made you free. Listen to this, that means you free. You're free. Your change is your freedom. They wanted you to change back. In other words, don't be free. Don't stay free. Come back in the yoke of bondage. But ain't that the devil? Ain't that how he work? Which means those are his minions who's working for him when they're trying to entangle you back in the yoke of bondage. Not that you were necessarily entangled like that, but I mean, we've all probably had some form of bondage going on. Of course, I know I did. And to be honest, part of the bondage that I was in was related to the ones that I'm speaking of that want me to feel left out. So again, come back in bondage. Come in bondage, because you done got free. We can't have you free over here. But they want you to think you missing out on something. And you are. You're missing out on bondage. Because they not free. But they want you to be not free with them. They want you to be in bondage with them. But they try to present it to you like you missing out on something. And of course, my attitude is, I want to miss out on that. I don't want no parts of that. And you know what God have mentioned to me too, is people who feel like they need people, feel like they need I don't know. It's like this. People who, listen, when you know how to be content with yourself, you and God, you standing in who you are, you know who you are, you're confident in who you are all right with you and God. Yes, because I remember going through a period of isolation and still kind of somewhat, but God will bring the right people in your life when you're content with him, and I'm saying all that to say that people that need people that are not, here you go right here. God said, well, they're not one with me. They don't understand that you're cool without them. because they're not cool without other people. Now, I know some people like to say everybody needs somebody. You got to be careful with that. Because, again, you better let God give you your whoever needs to be there. Because here's the real thing. If you're not content with him, and I'm just reminded how scriptures say, um, those who love me or something like that, those who walk with me, you must put it like this. You must be willing to let go. It's say your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. You got to be willing to just not have nobody but him. I mean, if you love him and you willing to walk with him. So I'm saying that all to say you have to really be at that place where you're content with him and him alone. And yes, if you, even where we all need somebody, really what we all really need is God. We all really need Jesus. Because sometimes, many a times, not always, of course, people ain't nothing but a problem to you. People ain't nothing but contamination. Because so many, listen, more people have demons than those who don't. More people have issues and are being used by the devil than those who are not. So, knowing that means you're subjecting yourself dealing with people. Of course, kind of people, not everybody. We know that. But you understand what I'm saying? They got problems. And when you're dealing and interacting with people that got all this stuff, you're dealing and interacting with all their problems. Now, it's different when you're dealing and interacting with people who are healing themselves and working on themselves, like proactively, for real. That's a little different. But here's the thing. When you're at a place where you've gotten to where you need to heal and deal with yourself and do the work on yourself, you usually do that in isolation. Because again, taking on other people's stuff. People got stuff. And that's not throwing no shade at people. I've had stuff. I still work through things. But I work through them alone. Because, maybe not completely alone nowadays. Because God has brought people into my life that are like-minded. So I can relate. I can relate to them and they can relate to me and we can talk and I can share things and be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Share things and know that it's safe. But again, you have to let God give you those safe places, those safe people. When you're out here trying to, thinking you need somebody, you can bring some problems thinking you need somebody. That's how so many people have so many issues and problems. Ain't the only reason or the only way, but because you think you need people. And sometimes you're just inviting a whole lot of problems into your life. And then if you get to that place, now you gotta undo all these things. And now deal with yourself and recuperate, recover, get yourself right, heal, all that. That's a lot of work. And listen, I know me personally, I'm at a place and I'm at an age, when you get to be half a century, you don't have time for all that no more. Being there, done that, you don't want to invite certain things in no more. Because, we all only have so much time here. And so, for me, I want to make the latter part of my years productive. I've done the learn and the train and the figuring things out, getting this understanding. Not that I'm not continuously doing that, of course. But nobody got time for that. So, again, they want you to change back. They want you to change back. They want you to go back to who in their mind you used to be. Not even understanding you were always on this forward progression. They just didn't know. But again, now that change has come, they want you to change back. They want you to feel like you left out. They're trying to make you feel away, which you don't. If anything, you feel for them because they're in the yoke of bondage. You know it. You see it. You've been seeing it. For some of you, you've come to realize it. And yeah, they want you to feel like you're not a part of that bondage. And you're not. And you don't want to be. Miss Shelly said, we are like our God, Jesus Christ. He said we would be hated because of him. Amen. The world loves their own. Exactly. Thank you for saying that. Yes. And that reminds me, God was speaking to me about this as well. This was yesterday morning, because this all started yesterday. He said, they don't know me. I read it too. I didn't write it down. He said they don't know me. Because when people, because here's the thing, this is what he was saying. People be trying to figure you out, kingdom people. People trying to understand. They study you. They trying to figure out, and this is the thing, you don't really know God like that, because God said that's because they don't know God like that. And Miss Shelly, I remember you saying something like that as well. But God said that to me yesterday. He said they don't know him like that. So they just, people had this thing where they think you like them, even though they know you not, which is why they coming at you and tripping on you and hating on you and jealous of you and trying to bring you back in a yoke of bondage because you ain't like them. But they sit in their minds and see, here's the thing. People have a box and see, they want to put you in that box. See, people only understand, they only have a limited understanding. And, which means that they don't have the capacity to expand in understanding, expand in consciousness. And so because of that, they have this box, a box that even they put themselves in. And so when you're something outside of their box, they can't understand it. It messes with their head. It messes with their mind. And so they got to call it everything but what it is because they don't know what it is. But they're trying to fit you in this box, but you don't fit. And it troubles them. And they resort to, oh, you not this, you not that. Because they not this, they not that. Not that they couldn't be. But the truth is, as long as they're operating in that spirit and they're having these kind of thoughts and they're not, they're trying to make what it is with a child of God who's walking with God, who's anointed, who's chosen. When they're trying to tear it down, they could never be what God called them to be as long as they're doing that. Because when you're walking with God and being who God called you to be, none of that is involved. That's not God. That's not of God. So God was saying they say all these things because they don't know me. And here's the thing. God said he don't know them either. He don't know them. Because people, these kind of people that I'm speaking of, they don't take out that time with him. And if they do, it's more like ritual. It's not relationship. It's just to say, oh, I did this. It's like a check. You know how you got to check off what you did on your list. It's kind of like that. So, which is why they're not bearing the fruit of the time that they so-called spend with him or so-called whatever they're doing with him for him, because it's not real. They don't really know him. They're not really getting to know him. They know of him. And so what happens with you is you really know him, but they try to diminish it. But this is on my spirit. I got to say it. I got to get it out because this is part of what God said to me yesterday. He said, when they, and this is scripture, but God said this to me directly. He said, I sent you. And Miss Shelly, you just spoke, you be speaking about this too. He said, I sent you. And so when they don't receive you, they don't receive me. That's what God said. So here's what's happening here. If they not receiving you, they not receiving God. He said, so how can they know me? They don't know me. Those who know me, God said, will receive you. Because they know me and they know that it is me who sent you. So kingdom people, when people are not receiving you, when they want you to change back into the yoke of bondage with them, they don't know God. They don't know him. And God don't know. God don't know them either. I'm hearing, depart from me. I know you're not. God don't know them. And they don't know God. So they trying to make that be you too. Which is why they trying to get you to change back. They can't handle the fact that it is you. That you are who you are. You are who God says you are. They don't know nothing about that. Nothing about it. And that doesn't mean we don't want them to know something about that. Of course we do. But we can't make people, everybody got a free will choice. You can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. People have to be responsible for themselves. And because you're being responsible for you, you're making the moves that you need to make. You're allowing God to guide and direct you. You're changing. You're making the proper changes. They don't like it. And they want you to feel left out of what they got going on. They want you to change back. Again, you want to be left out of what they got going on, because what they got going on ain't good. And I just heard it ain't God. If God ain't in it, It's me. I'm pretty sure you all are like that too, kind of people. If God ain't in it, I don't want no parts of it. I like God like that. I'm with God like that. I don't want to be involved in the yoke of bondage. Candace, what you say? I'm going to stand. We're going to stand ye therefore in the liberty wherewith Christ has made us free. Listen, this is what God gave me concerning this whole debauchery. He said, yeah, they want you to change back. And change back. And go back. That means go backwards. People want you to go backwards. And again, life is about forward progression. You was always on that path. I'm hearing momentum. You've gained momentum. And they seeing the momentum. But you was always on this path, on this journey. But yeah, they want you to change back as if you could do that. Not that you would want to, but you can't. When you do that, when you walk in this kind of a path with God and walk in this walk with God, ain't no such thing as going back. You're too far gone. Not that you want to. I'm just saying it doesn't happen. That's why and that's the thing, all these monkey tricks that they like to play, it's weird because first of all, you know they monkey tricks. Secondly, it doesn't appeal to you. Like I said, you're looking at stuff and you know this bondage. You know they're in bondage. You know it's all bondage. And you're not attracted to bondage. So it's just a little weird. But again, when they don't have that growth and that maturity, they don't understand what they're doing. And I'm saying it to say what it is. It's kind of beneath you. It's like you're looking down on some nonsense. In the sense that it's nonsense. And again, you see right through it. But because again, when people are where they are, they don't get that. They don't get you see beyond and see right through their stuff. They don't get that because they not there. Anyway, God said, yeah, they want you to change back. But God said this. You already doing the kingdom people. But he said this to me. 2 Corinthians 15 and 58. Therefore, my brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always. Wait a minute. Let me start over. I want to read this version. I know it. And I was ready to go on my own, but I want to say what this one says here. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So God said, yeah, they want you to change back. Change back. But you continue to be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. Because that's what you're doing. Which is why they want you to change back. Because you steadfast, unmovable. Hear that? Steadfast. In other words, you're persistent. You persevering. You don't let nothing stop. You just keep going. Like the Energizer Bunny. You just keep going. You ain't stopping for nothing. You steadfast. Unmovable. You ain't move. And trust and believe. They tried to move you. Trying to affect you. Trying to make you feel away. Look, trying to get you to change back. They done tried. And some of these people are going to try till they in their grave. In fact, all this trying they doing is what's going to kill them. Because I must leave that alone. I ain't going to do that. And I'm just reminded that hell ain't fun. They ain't going to be playing and trying and doing all that in hell. They're going to be trying to escape it. But ain't no escape. Their time to escape is now. Be done with all that be foolery. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Know so they gone. Anyway, King people, I must just go ahead and be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much I know that this labor is not in vain in the Lord. I'll call them back. But kingdom people, yeah, they want you to change back. They want you in bondage. And I'm just telling y'all, I already know y'all ain't going back. But just know when you see all this craziness, because you see it, y'all see it. Or if you don't, you will. Just know that's what that is. Your change has come. Your change is here. They see you changing. And they want you to change back in their minds. And I say in their minds because you was always changing. But again, your change is so significant and obvious. And these people not changed. I just heard they chained. They chained up. They are. The devil got chains around them. And they want you to be in them, included in them chains. They want you to be yoked up too, in bondage, in them chains with them. And you like, no. And I just literally got a vision of people holding hands. You know how people hold hands in a circle and be like ring around the roses, a pocket full of pup. That's kind of how they be. That's kind of how they are. Like it's the thing to do. But this the other part of that. I don't want to go too much into it because it's a whole nother message. But God just brought it to me. They have been bamboozled. This another one. They have been compromised, which is pretty much the same thing. The devil done tricked them. They didn't fall for the trick. They didn't bit the bait. They took it. And now they in chains. They in a yoke of bondage and they hold their hands, going in circles, talking about ring around the roses. Pocket full of poses. Ashes, ashes. Oh, we all fall down. Oh my God. They all falling down. I ain't finna say the other word that I just heard. Right to hell. If they don't. Yes, I'm gonna leave that alone, king people. I'm gonna leave that alone. But Descendant of David, thank you for joining. Good day to you as well. And so you I just came to tell you that they want you to change back. Okay? They want you to go back to the yoke of bondage. I don't know why that's funny to me. You know why? Because it's stupid. But the devil be having people stupid. And they don't even know they stupid. Some of them do. Some of them do. You know, I just heard some of them feel stupid. You know. But yeah, that's how the devil do you. You know. And when it's one thing to do something stupid, because we all do stupid stuff. Like, oh yeah, that was stupid. But when this is what you are, and this is your nature, you are that. You ain't just do something stupid. You are stupid. And I ain't trying to call nobody stupid, but it's stupid. But, you know, that's how the devil, you know, they being fooled, tricked. And some of them willingly. But anyway, kingdom people, as for you and your house, you will serve the Lord. You will be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. And your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Stand ye therefore in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made you free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Don't go over there with that bondage. I don't even have to tell y'all that. They want you to, though. They want you to change back. That cracks me up. Change back. I was like, what? When I heard God say that, I said, what? That's stupid, ain't it? Anyway, kingdom people, thank you all so much for being here, listening to me ramble. I really appreciate you all. Amen, Mrs. Davis. That's right. Okay, nobody got time for no yoke of bondage. All this you did and doing to get yourself free. And they're like, no, come back, change back. But that's how the enemy uses people, because they stuck in bondage. I'm just reminded of the crabs in the barrel. You know, the crabs in the barrel are in the barrel, and any crab that's trying to get out, it's trying to pull it down. It don't want it to get out. The other ones at the bottom of the barrel don't want none to get free. It's the same thing. I know that's right, Descendant of David. Ain't nobody going back. But you know, some people do. Some people do. Some people do. I'm just gonna say that. I don't want to go into no details or examples because some just came to me of people I know that went back to exes that they should have stayed away from. Like, that's your past. I know there are exceptions, but some stuff it seems like you would just know. But some people don't know. They go back not understanding you're going backwards. Because for me, I wouldn't get back with none of my exes. That's going backwards. Again, there are exceptions, but you should know when something is an exception and when something is going backwards. But you know what God has given me when people are not in their right mind and or operating through ego or have intentions, ill intentions for why they're doing what they're doing. And see, that's what gets you in trouble. The yoke of bondage. And that's where they want you, in the yoke of bondage. They want you to change back. They in bondage. They want you in bondage. Anyway, kingdom people, thank you all so much for being here. I really do appreciate you all. I love you all so very much. I really don't want to leave you, but I do have to go right now. But I will be back to home, my kingdom people. Damn. The kingdom people, above all else, that the Holy Spirit leads you in all things at all times. Yeah. Kingdom people, we are still untouchable. We are still unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. We are still unbreakable, and we are still unstoppable. Okay, descendant of David. Sounds good. That is my time, kingdom people. Jesus girl is out. Peace.